Hey, yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Robin the Big Leagues. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, Robin the Big Leagues is the third trade in the 1 year later stories for Robin. In addition to that, this is the midway point for the last 5 story arcs of Robin, between Robin Wanted and Search for the Hero. And in saying that, it's kind of important because it does two things. One is that it ties up a lot of the plot elements and character development and a lot of the stuff established in the first 2 1 year later stories for Robin, Robin Wanted and Violent Tendencies. And it kind of ties up a lot of the loose ends there, particularly the story arc that's been running with the character known as Dodge. Second thing is that this is the last story that we really get to see Robin as the happy-go-lucky teen wonder that we all know him and love him for. In the next 2 trades, he starts to evolve into a much darker character and a much more serious Robin, particularly the closer we get to R.I.P., the darker Robin gets as a character. So in saying that, this is kind of an important story because it really does mark the midway point and really kind of the hump that Robin has to go over before he becomes a different character. So with that said, let's just jump into the story. Now, there's 3 stories in this. There's 2 small stories, which are the bookend of the trade, and then the center story, which is the bulk of the trade. The 2 small stories are the Father's Day story and the story dealing with lockdown. Now, the Father's Day story is just basically Robin's first day, or first time with Bruce as his father on Father's Day. So Robin goes out and he picks up a gift and he has this whole day planned out for Bruce, and, well, things just don't go right because a bunch of supervillains attack him. Will Robin be able to spend the day with Bruce the way he planned it, or will it just all go to shit because he's getting attacked by millions of supervillains? Well, you have to see. The last story is the story dealing with lockdown. It's just kind of a beat-em-up story. There's no real plot to it at all. Now, the middle story is really the big story, and this is the story that kind of finalizes all the stuff that we've had with the character Dodge. Now, I'm going to throw down a spoiler alert right there. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I will be saying a lot of stuff in this that if you have not read the previous 2 Robin trades, you might be confused. Now, in the previous 2 Robin trades, Dodge is a character that wanted to become Robin's sidekick, but Robin just didn't want to get the kid in danger. Because of some accidents and some stuff that goes down, Dodge gets changed, and he hates Robin. He absolutely despises Robin. He wants to teach Robin a lesson. And by doing so, he wants to go out and formulate his own team to do this. However, things don't exactly go the way Dodge wants it because, well, he has the intentions on teaching Robin a lesson and not killing him, just teaching him a lesson. This team of former supervillains want to actually kill the Boy Wonder as a way of revenge against him. You'll find a lot of these enemies are enemies that you would have seen during that Bill Willingham trilogy that went on before the 1 year later stories, like Days of Fire and Madness, and I think it was particularly Days of Fire and Madness where all these characters kind of showed up. Particularly the grossest villain I've ever seen, Tapeworm. Yeah, there is a Tapeworm villain. Moving on. So, will Robin be able to defeat these villains, or will those villains, well, take down the Boy Wonder? Well, we know that is not that because Robin's still around to this day. But will things go happily at the end for Robin and Dodge, or will it be a sad ending for the 2 of them? That you will definitely have to read and see. So on to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, there are no bad stories in this. All the stories are at least mediocre to good. So we can guarantee good writing in that. Particularly the Father's Day story is at least touching at the end. And I do like the story where it wraps up all the stuff with Dodge. Dodge is really a character that I wish that they'd done more with, but because Robin is no longer Tim Drake, but rather Damian Wayne, it would just seem illogical to bring Dodge back. Maybe in a Red Robin comic, but even then it seems illogical because he really wouldn't have a place. He's a character that I really didn't care for, but eventually grew on me, and I wish they did more with, but they didn't. But what we got for an ending was satisfying enough. It kind of leaves things open. The art was good, as always. Same art we've been having for the Robin trades up until this point, and until the end of Robin as a comic series. Bad. Well, the last story wasn't all that great. It really didn't have a place. It was just kind of there. I mean, you could say that it has some meaning, but really, it really wasn't necessary. So I really didn't care for the last story. In addition to that, I kind of wish that they actually maybe not did the last story and had another issue or two for the Father's Day story, because that would have been nice if they actually added more to that. Whether or not you should get it. Well, one is, there's two situations. One is you're going to get this, and one is you're not going to get this. One, you should get this if you've been getting the previous two Robin trades, particularly Teenage Wasteland. Now, you should not get this if you haven't picked up any Robin trades up until this point, or if you haven't picked up Teenage Wasteland. If you're being picky and choosy about what you should get for Robin, particularly during the 1 Year Later stories, then if you don't want to get this, you probably shouldn't get it if you didn't get Teenage Wasteland. So, how about I clarify that, because I just threw out a bunch of mumbo-jumbo that probably confused you. If you have bought Robin Wanted and Robin Teenage Wasteland, pick this up, because it will really kind of bring everything together. If you've only picked up Robin Wanted, and you want to be very picky and choosy about what you buy for Robin, don't bother with this. Go right on to Violent Tendencies. Now, that's basically the gist for whether or not you should buy it or not. On the whole, it's a good story. I don't think it's quite as good as the previous story arc, but it holds its own. It definitely does tie up a lot of stuff with Robin. And I think that's why I like it so much, is because it ties up a lot of things we've been seeing with Robin. The writing is definitely probably the weakest, though, out of all the 1 Year Later stories. However, in saying that, that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it's not as good as the others. Pick it up if you picked up the previous Robin trades, but if you're being picky and choosy, then this is something that you can pass off on. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. Hopefully I didn't confuse you too much with that ending, but whatever. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.